Yeah, so yoga and Pilates tonight. Go ahead and find a comfortable seated position on your mat, and we will get started. Okay. Alrighty, so we're going to start, like I said, comfortable seated position. So if cross-legged is comfortable for you today, you can join me there. If something that's going to be a little bit more comfortable is long legs or knees bent and feet planted, we're just going to start with a little bit of breathing and bring our awareness to our breath and our bodies to get started. So wherever you're comfortable, go ahead and find that spot. And then I just wanted to start with a couple of nice deep breaths here. So allowing your eyes to soften. So maybe they just start to look down towards the floor, or maybe you allow them to close. And then we're going to take a scan of the body as you start to deepen through that breathing a little bit. So as we move through the body, I want you to just become aware of how you're feeling today. Find any points of tension maybe. And then as you find that awareness without any judgment, I want you to try and send your next exhale to that point of tension or to that sore or stressed part of the body. So starting our scan of the body from the top of the head, noticing how the muscles in the face feel. Maybe the jaw is a little bit tense, maybe allowing the tongue to release from the roof of the mouth, moving down through the neck and into the shoulders. Maybe they're a little bit scrunched up, so letting them relax with your next exhale. Through the arms, noticing the biceps and the triceps, all the way down to those fingertips. Sometimes tension builds up in the hands without us even noticing it. With that exhale, allowing that to release. Moving down through the torso, feeling the core and the lower back. Sometimes that tension builds up there based on, maybe you have a little bit less comfortable of a chair at home than you do in your regular office space. So allowing that tension to begin to release with that next exhale. Moving down through the hips and the glutes into the legs, all the way down to the tips of your toes. And just noticing that tension, allowing it to release. And then when you get to the tips of those toes and you found those couple of exhales to release that tension, I want you to bring your focus back into your breath. Starting to move to a slightly deeper breathing. Nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And the great thing about virtual yoga is that you're not in a class full of people. So if you really want to sigh out that exhale nice and loud, you can do it without being self-conscious at all. So I want you to try that out. Big inhale through the nose. And then big sigh out with that exhale. Nice. Let's try that one more time. Big inhale through the nose. And then really sigh out that exhale. All right, we're going to start to bring a little bit of movement in with our breathing. So we're going to start right away with our spinal twist flow side to side. So we're going to start with our big inhale at center to find that nice long spine really extending out through the top of the head. With your exhale, we're going to take that left hand and bring it around to the outside of that leg. So whether the legs are crossed or long, that's okay. That hand comes to the outside of that leg. We're going to find our spinal twist and bring that right hand around behind the back. So we're finding this nice deep twist looking either to the side or over that shoulder. And then what I want you to do today is we're not going to find this hold very long. I want you to start to flow with your breathing. So with each inhale, I want you to come through center. Big inhale, nice long spine. And with each exhale, we're moving side to side. So moving to that second side, the left hand or the right hand comes to the outside of that left leg. And then just moving with the pace of your breath. Maybe you move a little bit faster or slower than me today. That's okay. If you're taking a little bit deeper, a little bit shallower of breathing. And keeping it going here, a couple more nice deep breaths. really loosening up that spine, opening up, finding this nice stretch. One more time in each direction here. And after you find that second direction, with the next inhale coming back to center, nice and easy, bringing your attention back to that nice and steady breath. We're going to find a little upper body stretch and upper body flow here. So if you need to give those legs a little break from where they are, you can move them just a little bit around to give them that break. We're going to again flow the upper body with the pace of our breath. So with your next inhale, same way we started our spinal twist, big inhale, nice long spine. When you reach the top of that inhale, I want you to interlace those fingers, exhale, press the palms forward, tuck the chin in towards the chest, round out the spine towards that back wall. With your next inhale, we're going to pull those palms up towards the ceiling, lengthening nice and long away from center. With your next exhale, we're going to release the fingertips. We're going to keep them up towards the ceiling. So keeping those arms up nice and long. Big inhale, find a little bit of extra length away from center. We're going to find a lateral stretch next. So taking that right hand down to the mat, that left arm comes up over top, finding that nice little bit of length from fingertips to hip. Next big inhale, we're coming through center, bringing both arms up nice and long, and then exhale, bringing it down to that other side. Same thing, finding that nice little bit of length. Nice big inhale. We're going to go one more time in each direction. So inhale through center, exhale down to that first side. And then big inhale through center one more time in that second direction. Same thing over there. Find that nice big stretch with your next inhale. Last time up to center. Nice and long away from center. Big exhale. Circle those arms down and around. From here, you can either place those hands behind the hips or interlace behind the back. And then with your next inhale, I want you to find a chest opener, pulling those shoulder blades together. We're going to hold here for just a moment. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release. All right, nice job. Shake it out a little bit. Next, we're going to transition down onto our back. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me. If you're already facing the long edge or the short edge of your mat, you can stay right where you are. We're going to bend those knees and plant those feet, and then we're going to roll it down so that our back is flat on the mat. All right, so once you reach that position, the next thing that we've got going on is we're going to do a couple of activation breaths. So if you're in my class the other day, we did this the other day from this position. Your inhales, we're going to find tension. You're going to press the bottoms of those feet, and you're going to lay those palms on the floor, and you're going to press them into the floor with that inhale, tensing up through all your muscles. With your exhale, you're just going to release and relax down towards the floor. So we're going to do 3 of those just like that. With your next inhale, I want you to find as much tension, as much activation through those muscles as you can. Big inhale, find that activation, every muscle you can think of, and then big exhale, let all of those muscles you just tensed up. Twice more, just like that. Next big inhale, find that tension, press the palms and the feet into the floor, tense up through the legs, the arms, the core. Big exhale to relax all of those muscles, letting gravity pull you down. One more time, just like that, finding our activation. Big inhale, find that tension, press the feet and the hands into the floor, tense up those muscles. Big exhale, last release here in this nice static position. Okay, so up next, we're gonna get that posterior chain moving. So we've got some glute bridges. You're gonna keep those knees bent and those feet planted. The full bottom of the foot should stay on the mat, but we wanna press through those heels, and we're just gonna lift those hips up, nice long line, activate through the hamstrings and the glutes, and then bring it on down to that mat. A couple of times up and down here just to get those legs moving it at your own pace, extending the hips up, and bringing them back down to the floor. When you press up, I want you to think about squeezing through the glutes, maybe acting as if you're pulling those legs together without letting them move towards each other. Let's find 2 more of those just like that. Bringing those hips up and then bringing them down to relax. And then last one in this position. bringing the hips up, and then down to relax. So our next thing that we're going to do is just take that up a notch. So if this next option doesn't seem right for you today, you can stick right with this glute bridge with this little activation. We're just going to move it to single leg. So we're going to find our figure four or our piriformis stretch setup. So I want you to take that right ankle and just cross it over that left knee. So I've got my figure four set up with my knee bent. We're nice and close in here. And then all we're going to do is just find a single leg glute bridge. So we're activating through those same muscles that we found. I want you to press those hips up. We've got that single leg, and then same thing, bringing them back down. So a couple of times just like that. We're just making it a little bit tougher by isolating that single leg. Maybe it feels like a good stretch here for you too, because we're in that nice setup for our figure four stretch, depending on how tight those legs are today. And I want you to find just 3 more on this first leg, just like that. Single leg bridge. All right, nice job, you guys. When you finish that third one, all we're gonna do is switch those legs and hit that second side. So uncrossing that first foot, taking that second foot, crossing the ankle over the knee, and we're just gonna switch that leg that we're putting that pressure on and isolating. Same thing whenever you're ready to get moving on that second side. Let's get it going, finding that activation through the posterior chain on that second. Nice. Same thing, thinking about squeezing through those glutes. Once again, maybe this is a good stretch for you. Nice. Give me 3 more on this side. Pressing those hips up a little higher if you can. Making these last 3 count. And when you finish that third one, I want you to go ahead and bend those knees and plant those feet once again. We're going to find a spinal twist before we really get into the bulk of that core work today. I've got 3 different variations of this spinal twist for you today. We're going to move through all 3. If one doesn't feel right, feel free to regress to one of the other ones and make the right option or choose the right option for your spine today. So we're starting from this position with the knees bent and the feet planted. You can take those arms out long if you don't quite have that much space. You can take those arms into nice goalposts, bending at the elbows, whichever works for you for your space. We're going to take both of those knees down to that right side, and then you're just going to look over that left shoulder. So nice, easy spinal twist. We're moving the legs and the head in opposite directions, spending just a moment here. And then with that next inhale, we're going to move those knees up through center. And we're going to switch sides, bringing them down in that other direction, looking over at that right shoulder, nice big full spinal twist. Once again, we'll spend just a moment here. And then with your next inhale, go ahead, bring those knees back to center. Now, once again, if this next option doesn't sound right for you today, you can keep that option right where we just were. Our next option, we're going to take that left ankle and we're going to cross it just slightly over that right knee. So we're just creating almost that piriformis stretch setup, but the knee's just a little closer to my center line. And then we're going to take both of those legs down to that right side. So our left foot ends up on the bottom of this figure of this spinal twist. So both legs come down on that planted leg side. And then once again, we're going to look over in that opposite direction. So my left is crossed over my right, my knees are down to my right, and I'm looking over my left shoulder. Once again, we'll spend just a moment here. And then with that next inhale, let's bring it back through center. We're just gonna switch those legs. So I'm gonna cross my right ankle over my left knee, and then I'm gonna let both of my legs fall to that left side, and I'm gonna look over my right shoulder. I like this one. I usually get a nice little low back crack when I go in one direction or the other. We're just increasing the intensity of that spinal twist by putting this opposite leg on the bottom end. With your next inhale, go ahead and bring it up through center and uncross that leg. So we've got one more option to take it up. If that one was good for you and you want to stick there, feel free to stick there. If you want to take it up a notch, we're going to lengthen that right leg long out onto our mat. We're going to take that left leg up towards the ceiling. Now, if the leg doesn't straighten or you don't have the space for a straight leg, you can always bend at that knee. We're just going to bring it across the body and set it down in our final spinal twist. Left leg comes over to the right side, and then our gaze comes over that left shoulder. So again, a little bit deeper than the last one. Feels good. All right, and we're gonna switch. So last spinal twist, we're taking that leg back up towards the ceiling, switch those legs, and then we're just taking that right leg over to the left side of the body. Again, if you don't have the space, you can always find that nice bent knee, and then looking over that right shoulder, really loosening up through the spine. All right, with that next inhale, let's go ahead and bring that leg back to center. And then I want you to pull those knees into the chest for just a moment here. Give that low back a little massage, maybe rock side to side or in little circles. We're gonna get right into the bulk of our core work up next. So from this position, I want you to take those knees to that 90 degrees. We're gonna start off nice and easy with our alternating single leg heel taps. So you're gonna bring one heel down to that mat with the knee at 90, and then back up to meet, and then the other heel down. So we're just activating through our core, getting it started with that lower core, our core front, starting to move those feet. If you feel pretty good right now and you want to take it up a notch with me right here, you are welcome to take both of those feet down towards the floor instead of alternating. So we're coming in our almost double leg lower lift, but with those bent knees. So really activating through the back and the core front here. If you didn't already join me in that double leg lower, let's bring it in right now. We've got 3 more starting right here for 3. Nice, 2. And last one, bringing those heels down and then coming back up to 90. Okay, from here, we're gonna focus back in on that breath. We have our 100 up next. So for your 100, if you've taken the Pilates class, maybe you've seen this before, your legs have 2 options. The easier option, we're at our 90 degree right where we are now. The more difficult option, if you'd like to take it up a notch today, is to lengthen those legs into our hollow hold pose. The hands are going to be out long at our sides. The palms are going to face down. And as we breathe, we're going to move them up and down in nice, sharp, short motions, just like this. So wherever your legs are. We're going to breathe in counts of 5. So it's going to be in for 5 counts and out for 5 counts. Now, again, you have 2 options for this. Our first option is 5 short, sharp breaths in, followed by 5 short, sharp breaths out. So it would be. However, I know this gives me anxiety sometimes. So sometimes I prefer to just breathe in one nice big breath for 5 counts and out one nice big breath for 5 counts. Oh, words are hard today. So it's called the 100 because we're going to do 100 counts of breath. I'm going to count it out for us. So go ahead and find that leg position that feels better, either bent at those knees or lengthened. Those arms are out long. The head and shoulders can come up off that mat. We're going to start moving with an in breath for 5. Here we go. We've got in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, and relax. All right, nice work, you guys. So really activating through that breath and really energizing through that breath. So I hope that that felt good wherever you chose to be for that. We are going to move up next into, oh, we've got footwork next. Okay, great. So we've got 4 different modifications of our footwork, and we're going to move through all of them. So we're again going to start at this 90 degrees. So while I'm explaining, if you need a little break for the lower back, feel free to drop those feet for a second. From our 90 degrees, we're just going to find a leg lengthening, and then we're going to pull it back in. So the lower you take those legs towards the floor, ooh, nice knee cock. The lower you take those legs towards the floor, the more difficult these will be. The higher you take them towards the ceiling, the easier this will be on the core. So choosing that option that works best for you today. We're going to start with our feet together and our knees together. They're going to stay together through our full range of motion. Hands can be out wide or they can be under the hips for a little bit more stability, whichever works better for you. Whenever you're ready, let's get it going with this footwork. So we're extending those legs out long wherever your modification is, and then pulling them back into that 90 degrees. So just moving at a nice even pace here, really using your breath to move you. So finding your exhale through the hardest part of the range of motion for you. We're just going to move a couple of times like this, and then we'll change up our foot positioning. Nice job. All right, give me 3 more with those feet and those knees together. Nice job. I've got 1 more here. When you finish that third, you can take a little break by pulling the knees into the chest or letting those feet fall. We are up next, just going to take those knees and those feet and separate them to hips width. So I'm going to take both of my fists, and that's the space that should be in between the knees, which should also line up with the feet. So they're just a little bit apart. They're going to stay that same distance apart for this same range of motion. So whenever you're ready, same thing. We're just going to lengthen those legs out with them separated and then pull them back into center. So getting it going, keeping moving with your breath, really engaging through that core. Again, the higher towards the ceiling you take those toes, the less pressure this will be on the core and the back. So if you need that little bit of a release or a break, feel free to take that. We've got 3 more in this position. Nice, stick with it. And then I've got 1 more, and same thing, you can take a little break if you need to. Up next, we've got our Pilates V positioning. So for me, when I'm in this positioning, when I have my feet in at my 90 degrees, my knees separate, and then as I extend my legs out long, the knees come together. My feet are in my Pilates V, so the heels are close together and the toes are separated. So we're making a nice V with both of those feet. We're going to keep those feet just in that V, and then we've got our same range of motion for our footwork. So extending and pulling those knees back in. So whenever you're ready with that Pilates V position, getting it going there, trying to keep those heels together out at the edge of your range of motion. All right, nice work, you guys. Give me 3 more in our Pilates V here. Awesome. When you finish those 3, go ahead and take that little break. We've just got 1 more that we're going to change it up to. So our last one is going to kind of scissor our feet. So we're going to start with the knees and the feet together at our 90 degrees. As you extend those legs, we're going to separate them. So one leg comes down towards the floor, the other comes up towards the ceiling. We're going to pull them back into 90, and then we're going to alternate. So kind of moving those legs in that nice scissor formation out where we're long. So last one here, and then we'll get a little break for our core front, taking those knees to that 90 degrees. Just a couple more, stick with me. You're lengthening and separating, and then you're pulling both back into 92. So nothing too crazy for our 4th one, but don't forget to breathe. You know, sometimes I do, which is a weird thing to say out loud. You know, sometimes you forget to breathe, but that's part of core work is you got to make sure you're moving with your breath. Give me 4 more total, 2 more in each direction. You guys got it. And when you finish those 4, I want you to just pull those knees in towards the chest, giving that low back a nice little massage, giving it that little release. And then when you're ready, we're going to flip it over to hands and knees and change up our muscle group a little bit. So taking it over to your hands and knees position. When you get there, I want you to take a second and make sure that the wrists are right under the shoulders and make sure that the knees are right under the hips, so we're nice and square. We're going to start off nice and easy with our cat and cow, get that spine moving again. So with our inhales, we're going to drop the belly towards the floor and look up towards the ceiling. With our exhales, we're going to pull the spine up towards the ceiling and tuck the chin in towards the chest. So another nice spinal range of motion here. Take it up a notch in just a second. So taking a minute to enjoy how this feels. Once again, connecting our movement with our breath. Maybe you notice the point of tension come back a little bit, trying to send that nice exhale to it. And we're going to move right from our cat and cow into our bird dogs. So what you're going to do for your bird dogs is you've got 2 options here to get us started. You can do all on one side, and I will let you know when to switch, or you can alternate. We're going to take our right arm and our left knee, and we're going to look for length as we extend in opposite direction. Now, if you're doing it on one side, you're pulling the elbow towards the knee at center, finding your balance. If you're alternating, maybe you set that hand leg down and take it to that other side. Whichever you're in, go ahead and get it going whenever you're ready. We're still going to match our movement to our breath. So our inhales are still going to be our lengthens. Our exhales are going to be our pulling in towards center. So maybe you move a little bit faster, slower than me here. That's okay. You might be breathing a little bit differently than I am. We're almost to that halfway where we're going to switch. If you're on one side, I want you to do 2 more on this side and then switch to that opposite hand and feet. When you finish those 2, just taking it right to that other side, getting going there. Nice lengthening. So looking for that length rather than that lift necessarily. And we're finding that activation back as we lengthen and the core as we move to center. Keep breathing. Nice job, you guys. Wherever you are, give me 3 more. So if you're alternating, we got 2 on one side and 1 on the second side. If you're on that same side, we're finishing out with 3. And then you can take a little break. You can sit back towards those heels. You can roll out those wrists. You can find a child's pose. Now next, we're going to take this up a notch. If up a notch doesn't seem right for you today, because it's a really tough up a notch, I want you to stay right where we are in this. Once again, you can alternate all one side and I'll let you know halfway. So for our up a notch, if you feel really stable in a plank position, we've got a bird dog from a plank. So to get us started, you would bring it up to that plank, and then you've got that opposite arm, opposite leg lift, and then setting it back down. So we alternate here, finding that. That's a little bit much for you. You've got 2 options from here. You can just find a nice good extension, or you can just find a shoulder tap. Either way, we're keeping that. If we don't want to plank today, you are welcome to keep it right at that hands and knees bird dog. And let's get started with whichever of those options is right for you right here. So if you're in that plank bird dog, we're taking it up. Those feet are nice and wide. We're finding our stability and trying to lift through that opposite arm and opposite leg. If you try it out and it's a little tough, feel free to drop it down to one of those modifications that I gave you. Lots of balance and stability here. Until I'm already out of breath. We've got a couple more here. If you are doing one side on your hands and knees, go ahead and switch here. Nice job, you guys. Keep breathing. We're keeping moving for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and if you've got 1 more in you, give me 1 more, and then drop those knees down. We're going to go into our child's pose next. So I want you to take those knees wide, those big toes together, and sit the hips back towards the heels. Taking a second to reconnect with your breath. Now, if it feels good for you in this child's pose, you can walk those hands over to that right side of that mat, find a little bit of extra length through the left side of the body. If you try that out today and it's not quite right, feel free to just keep it right in center. And if you found that right side, I want you to go ahead and walk those hands through center and find that left side. We're going to lengthen a little bit through the right side of the body. And if you found that other direction, go ahead and bring it back to center for just a second. We're going to find this nice stretch down center. Trying to find that breath again, little extra release of that low back. All right, so up next, we're gonna find our first down dog of the day. So from this child's pose position, we're gonna curl those toes under as we lift the hips, put a little pressure through all 10 fingers, through those palms, and then we're gonna press those hips up and back into our down dog. Okay, so we're gonna spend a second here. So if it feels good, maybe you pedal up those heels a little bit. Maybe you just bend through those knees a little bit if the hamstrings aren't quite right. Maybe move the hips a little bit side to side. All right, and we're just gonna find a nice easy flow with the pace of your breath up next. I'm gonna go through it once for you and kind of narrate a little bit slower. And then we'll get going. We'll do 4 times total after this first nice slow one. So we're gonna start off with an inhale to find a little bit of extra length into our down dog. With our exhale, we've got 2 ranges of motion here. We're gonna exhale to float the shoulders out over the wrists, and then we're gonna chaturanga down to our low plank. Now you can always drop those knees for that lower. And then you've got 3 options. We've got our low cobra, we've got our cobra, and we've got our up dog with those thighs up off the floor with our inhale. And then that following exhale, we're gonna turn those toes over and press those hips up and back. So we're just gonna keep going with that. We've got 4 of those. So if you watch that one, go ahead and join in with me here. We've got an inhale to find a little extra length in our down dog. We've got an exhale, float the shoulders out over the wrists, and then lower down into our low plank. Inhale to press up cobra, low cobra or up dog, and then exhale to turn those toes over and press those hips up and back down dog. That was the first of our 4. Here we go into our second. Nice big inhale to lengthen. Exhale, float the shoulders out over the wrists, and then lower down, low plank. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, hips up and back. Nice, we're halfway through this guy. Inhale, nice long spine, little extra length. Exhale, we're floating the shoulders over the wrists. We're lowering down towards the mat. Inhale to up dog or cobra, and then exhale, turn those toes over, down dog. All right, you guys, one more here. Stick with me, last one of these. Inhale, little extra length. Exhale, float the shoulders over the wrists and lower down towards that mat. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, back into our down dog one more time. All right, from here, we are gonna walk those feet forward to meet the hands into our forward fold. We're gonna give those wrists a little break. We're gonna take a second here in this nice, easy forward fold. Maybe you find that opposite elbow with that opposite hand. Maybe you rock a little bit side to side in your ragdoll. Whatever feels good here. Taking a second, let the head and neck relax. Maybe you have a slight bend through those knees, that's okay. All right, from this forward fold position, nice and slow, I want you to go ahead and roll up to stand. All right, from this standing position, what we're gonna do, we're just gonna walk ourselves back to the back of our mat. All right, so I got all this space in front of me. We're gonna do Pilates push-ups. So we've got 3 sets. It only comes out to 9 total push-ups. So that means for each push-up, or for each Pilates push-up, we've got 3 push-ups in total. I'm gonna demo for you once, and then we'll bring it back together to do them all together. If you feel great about push-ups and you know what Pilates push-ups are, feel free to join me for the demo one. We're going to roll it down so that those fingertips meet the mat. We're going to walk it out to our high plank position. Now, if you can find your full range of motion in your push-up, you're welcome to do your push-ups in your high plank. I also love a modified push-up because it lets us get that full range of motion. We're going to do 3 push-ups at the bottom of every time we walk out. If you find those knees down on the floor for your push-ups, walk them up and then walk it in. Now you can either stay low between each rep or you can roll it all the way up to nice and tall standing. We've got 3 of those for 9 total push-ups. Let's get it going here. So we're going to walk those hands down. We're going to walk them out long onto our mat. You've got a high or a low push-up. We've got 3, 2, 1. You're going to bring those knees up if you had them down. We're going to walk it in for our inchworm. And then either you can stay low or you can stand it up. 2 more, you guys, stick with me here. We're rolling it down. We're walking it out. Drop those knees if you need to. 3, 2, 1. We've got in and up. Ooh, we're running low on time. All right, last one, you guys. Nice. Last 3 push-ups here. We're going to meet at the top standing. When you get to the top, I want you to find your nice easy mountain, find a couple of breaths. So those feet are right under those hips. We're gonna find 3 nice deep breaths. Hopefully I don't run out of time in the middle of our breathing. If I do, finish out your 3 breaths. So we've got our mountain pose, feet right under those hips. We're gonna lead with our arms. With your inhale, let's sweep out and up. Exhale, bring it down and around. Next one, inhale out and up. Exhale, down and around. Last one, big inhale, bring it out and up. Exhale, down and around. All right, we've got our namaste here. So last time we're gonna inhale out and up. This time, those palms meet at the top. We exhale to pull the palms down to heart center. Thank you for practicing with me today. I appreciate you all being here so much. The light in me honors the light in you. Bowing as we say, namaste. Have an awesome rest of your night, you guys. Thank you for being here. Appreciate everyone. And I'll see you guys next time. If you're looking